What is going on, guys? Today I have Noah on, and Noah is a guy from Lithuania. He's 20 years old, has over half a million followers on Instagram, and today we're just gonna talk about Instagram, Instagram theme pages, making money online, all of that good stuff. So, hey Noah, good to have you on.
It's a pleasure to be on your podcast.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, can you tell me a bit about yourself? What do you do? Um what's your business about, what your pages are about, and like how do you make money online?
Yeah, so I guess it's no secret that just like you, I'm into Instagram theme pages, and yeah, if I were to give you like a short, brief story how I got into them, it's not a unique story. Like I guess just like most of us, I guess I was around 17 when I kind of like had that mindset shift, and decided that I don't want to go the usual path, the 9 to 5 and etc. It was a nightmare for me to look at it. So I decided to like explore the online space a bit more, and yeah, I didn't really. Theme pages was actually the first business, like the serious business that I ever started. Um, Before it, I was just on the verge of actually starting getting into dropshipping. I was going through loads and loads of content on that, but the very first thing I tried was actually YouTube. It was
Mm.
like kind of what I always thought that would work for me. I've seen many guys who were actually promoting it as a pretty easy business model. You just post content, and especially like compilation videos, etc. So I firstly got into that. It didn't go really as planned, and I was pretty impatient back then, and I was expecting to blow up overnight almost, and kind of make that bag really quickly. But yeah, it didn't turn out as I planned. So I was like, like what else should I try? So that's when I kind of thought, maybe drop shipping. So I was going through that, and I think that was exactly when I stumble across the. I'm sure many people are familiar with a YouTuber by the name of Biohazard,
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
actually,
mentioned many times on the podcast already. I only did like
yeah,
this is the fourth episode. I've heard his name like five times already. And
no
like,
surprise, yeah.
yeah, he pushed me to start mine too. Kind of like I started a meme page, but it didn't last long, maybe like a few days.
Mhm.
But he was the first one to kind of introduce me, to the concept. So you just saw the video, right? And you were like, I'll start a page.
Yeah, so it's similar story. I also saw his video where he was like creating a theme page, growing an audience, and then selling them something. So I was like, that's a pretty cool concept, and that's where I started my first theme page. I remember it was in a car page, car niche, and yeah, it also didn't really go as planned because I was like really fresh to it, and I was just doing the follow for follow method. My engagement was very low. I was just basically experimenting, and I remember I closed down that account. I started a new car page. I think it's still live. It's still on Instagram, but I sold it. It's called Supra Spotting. It was in a Toyota Supra niche. I grew it to, I think it was over 100,000 followers.
Nice.
But in the meantime, I still was kind of just playing around, seeing how this all works. I haven't monetized that page, and it was mostly like sort of like a passion, you could say. So I was just kind of experimenting, and in the meantime, I was still kind of saw that okay, it's possible to grow, but I was like, maybe this niche isn't really the best one. So I started to kind of look around, and yeah, I was following a page in a motivation niche, which was run by a guy who I know is very familiar. Many of the theme page guys who are running theme pages know the guy Valentino, who
Mm.
was not sure if he's still really big. I know he's still running his pages, but I started seeing him on stories promoting that he's making loads of money with Instagram, and I was like, if this guy can do it, like who am I? Like surely I can replicate what he's doing. So that's what inspired me to start an account where I was in like the intention behind it was to actually start making money and not just playing around and etc. So that was when I started my first um, let's see, account in a profitable niche, which was motivation. And yeah, the journey goes to this day.
By the way, guys, if you want to learn everything we're talking about here with Noah, make sure click the link, the first link in the description, and join Insta Income School. All right, you have everything you need there to get started. You'll go from zero or whatever point you're at to a Instagram automation professional, and you can find all the information down below. By the way, follow me on Instagram. Sometimes I share very good insights there, and there are opportunities you'll find on Instagram you won't find on YouTube here. So stay tuned and listen to the pod.
of
Yeah.
of, of
So
my
did this
Instagram
guy,
vintage journey.
yeah, did this guy Valentino, like, did he show like screenshots of money making and stuff like that? That's what kind of inspired you to start in more profitable niches?
Yeah, yeah, he showed the screenshots and the lifestyle that he was having, and
Hmm.
overall, I was actually just surprised by looking at it, and I was like, I mean, he has a big page and he's making this much money. Like to me, it was surprising. It was like a new concept, even though I was like, okay, I'm running a team page, but I'm not making anything from it. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is this guy doing differently? And um, I just decided to try it out. Like I thought at first maybe it's the niche that he's in that somehow is different to mine's. Although at that time I didn't really understand the intricacies of how Instagram business works and everything. So I was like, let's just go with it and see where this takes me. So yeah, that was the time I started my, and that was kind of the time I started taking Instagram more seriously because that was when I knew that it is actually possible to make some good money with Instagram.
Yeah, because before that you were running like a car page, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty hard to monetize, and then you sold it. Do you mind sharing for how much you sold it?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I sold it for either $280 or $380. Yeah, it was around there.
Yeah, so
I know
pretty
it was
low,
a low
right?
ball. Yeah, it was really low, but I was going through many other DMing many other guys in that same niche, and they were all telling me, "Oh, this is too much, too much, too much, too much." So I was like, okay, I just decided, you know what, this page still is taking me quite a bit of time to run, so I'm not gonna like, um, get too attached to it. So I was like, whatever, the price works, and I just sold it to a guy that actually, um, where we negotiate a price that worked kind of well for me and for him, and yeah, I haven't really checked if the guy what he made of that page. Maybe he
Yeah.
just ruined it or something. But yeah, I don't really
But
care about it.
you kind of got your feet wet like that, just you got into
Yeah.
theme pages but not really making money, but you understood the game of Instagram and like where to find content, how to source content, how to see which video or photo will do well and which one will not do well. And like what time was that? Was it like 2020 or something when you got into pages, or even earlier?
No, it wasn't earlier. I think it was like 2 years ago. I think, yeah, like 2022. I think that was
Okay.
when I start those first team pages. Maybe it was 2021. I can't really recall, but it was somewhere in between, maybe 2021 and 22. That when I started like kind of getting into them a bit. So that was when I was running the car pages, and I think, yeah, like 2022, mid 2022, maybe I was when I actually start taking it more seriously, going into the more profitable niches. So yeah, so you could say I'm like into this for 2 years.
Okay. Okay. So how long did it take you to kind of grow that first car page to like 100K and, sell it?
Yeah, so the very first one, as I said, I didn't manage to grow to that amount, so I deleted
Yeah.
it. And then the second one, oh yeah, it took well over a year to actually reach the 100K. Well
Okay.
over a year.
So you weren't doing the best, but you weren't doing bad. You were kind of like learning, and
Yep.
you were in a period of learning, not earning, let's say. But, What about now? So you have, you said 3 pages, kind of like you have four, but three bigger
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah.
What about those? Are they all in motivation and business niche? And
So
what's the story now?
yeah, so they're in pretty similar. Three of them are in a pretty similar niche, I would say. One of them is like in masculinity slash entertainment niche. The other one is like also motivation slash entertainment, and the other one is also like motivation or not really motivation. The third one is like really entertainment. And my main page is into matrix slash conspiracy niche, so that's my main page,
Mm,
which is the biggest one, and that's my main focus because it brings in that's where my main income comes from. The other pages, um yeah, I'm growing them, but they were also kind of like started like later on. um but yeah, I had pages earlier which I stopped growing, and I think my main page, the current one, was um I can't remember it. I think it was the second page in at first it was in motivation niche. Then I saw it's not going well. And when the remix feature came in, I thought,
mm.
you know what, let's try and flip the script over and actually rebrand it totally and change the content and everything. And with the feature of remixes, which I know many of the people in the theme page space hopped on time, who did on
Yeah.
times, like actually could
Yeah.
potentially see how much it helped. So I was on time, and yeah, it helped me grow it exponentially, and that's where I actually saw that yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I remember when remixes were taking off, like in my mastermind group in Insta Income, like every single call, we had, and we have like 2 calls a week. Every single call we had when remixes were blowing up, like I would come on, I would just tell the same thing to people, like do the remixes now, like it's super limited time, it will go away, like I know for sure. And then I go on the next call, like 2 days later, and there's like a guy, and he's like, "Oh, I just grew 100,000 followers with remixes, in like 5 days." I'm like,
Yeah,
"What is going on right now?" So I know a bunch of people who hopped on the trend very early, and now they grew like, let's say, 2 pages both with like 1 million followers, and remixes don't seem to work as well right now, but
true.
like a year ago, it was the hottest thing ever.
Yep.
Like I hired so many people and started 207 pages, and they were all remixes. And the trend kind of died off, and I got out of it like 20 pretty big pages, sold a bunch of them, and now I have
Hmm.
like, I don't know, around 10 like bigger ones left, which are actually like worth doing something with. So
Yeah,
now I'm kind of like starting to revive them. But remixes really put a lot of people on game, and
that's true. Yeah.
like now those people are making a bunch of money. So what do you think is the next like trend coming up now? Do you see anything coming up or not really?
Potentially. I mean, we have to see. There were some features that some people are saying, "Oh yeah, try this one." Some were saying that this is like there were some new ways of doing the remix. I've tried it. Nothing seemed to work for me, but it's no big deal for me. I think if you know how to grow without the features, that's the biggest skill, right? If you
Yeah.
actually know the psychology behind creating content, exactly what works, how the algorithm works. I mean, yeah, utilizing the features, if they work, they work. Yeah, great, utilize them. But it's hard to say if something is coming, but it should. I mean, Instagram is constantly updating, developing new, introducing new features. So I guess we'll see. But you have to be with wide open eyes to actually spot these opportunities, these little features that they introduce that you can actually test out and yeah, potentially grow. How I did with my page, I think I grew like from 8K followers on that page to 100K in like 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
So just a few videos blew up, and then kind of was like a domino effect, right?
Yeah,
Like one video blows up, and then a video next to that blows up, and it's just like all of a sudden all of your videos are going viral.
Yeah. I was growing like a few thousand followers a day. To me, that was crazy. It was like
Yeah.
discovering a gold mine. I was
Yeah.
like in shock. And yeah, that was fun times. It was.
Awesome. So that's really cool. So you caught the remix wave, and what after that? Like, what happened
Yeah.
after that?
After that, so that page, if anyone wants to check it out, it's called MTRX is real on Instagram. That's the page that actually I grew. Uh, that which at first was in different niche. So that was when I decided that it became my biggest page at that time. So I was like, you know what? If it's the biggest, I have to put my the most attention and energy into it and make something good out of it, because I can't just waste all the audience I've gained through remixes to do nothing with. So yeah, I decided to just double down and actually put more time and energy into it. And yeah, that's where also promotion deals, my very first like actual good promotion deals start to came in, and where I first like start monetizing my pages decently. So yeah, also affiliate deals, lots of opportunities actually came with the growth. So that's why having a decent page with a decent amount of following is actually really beneficial, to actually, because people just start recognizing and they start coming to you offering deals. So that's when I actually started having promotion deals, and also I was having like affiliating. So that at that time, utilizing the remixes, I was utilizing those two main monetization strategies. And yeah, it was pretty good actually.
Nice. Yeah, I always tell this to people, like when you have a good page, it's impossible to be broke because people are
True.
just like reaching out to you every day, offering you money, like that's how it actually is. It just
That's
like
true.
you have to find a common ground with those people, where it's like a good deal for them, good deal for you, and whatever it will be, it may be like a shout out deal or affiliate deal or something. Like even if you just sit on your couch all day long, you'll make money, just by opening your DMs up. So
That is true,
yeah,
yeah. And as
it
I
is
say,
crazy.
worst case scenario, if no one actually reaches out to you, you can just sell the page and still make some pretty
Yeah.
decent money, right?
Or you can, sell your own product if you're into that. If you
That's
have
true.
any
That's true.
experience with like building a website, let's say, you can start, selling your own product. Like I didn't have any experience in selling my own products.
Yep.
But the first time I monetized was with my own product. I sold like an ebook, and I knew nothing
Hmm.
about ebooks. I maybe read a few, but like that's it. That was my experience with ebooks, and I managed to make my first $1,000 just like that.
Yeah.
Didn't have any experience with anything. So it's definitely that's the way to do it. You first focus on content and growth and the quality followers,
Yeah.
and then later you focus on the money, because I see a lot of people, they hit like 5,000 followers and they're like, how do I make the money, when the
Yeah.
reality is like, no, focus on like understanding what makes a post viral, because you only need to hit like a few big videos or a few big posts, and that's it. Like you'll be at 100K, just like
Yeah. That's
one
true.
huge
Yeah.
video, domino effect will kick in, all the videos you upload are going viral all of a sudden, and of course it will stop at some point, but you'll still be making money at that point, so it's all good.
Consistency will do the job. So
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree. And what about your first money, right? So how did you get your first deal? Was it a shout out deal or affiliate deal, or just people
yeah.
started
So
reaching out?
my first money came before that page. Actually, I used to run another page in a motivation niche. That was the page I talked about, the very first page that I
Mm.
thought, you know what, let's switch the niches from car page to motivation niche. And I grew that to around like 10K followers. I had like a mentor, and yeah, so yeah, my first money came from a mentorship. Yeah, because of my mentor, he kind of put me in a position where the only way I can make money is through coaching others. and I
Yeah.
kind of didn't know anything else. So I was like, you know what, let's just try. I had some I thought I knew shit back then. I was like the G, like 10K followers. Let's coach others, and yeah, that was my first money. And yeah, it was. I think it was, yeah. I used to charge like $70 for a mentorship program back then. So the very first client of mine, and I think the very first money that came from Instagram was like $70 for that
Yeah.
mentorship.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like especially when I got into theme page game in like 2020, 2021, there were a bunch of like coaches selling how to do theme pages, but like the only way they would show how to make money is like sell coaching to others. But if
Yep,
you're like a 16-year-old kid, you started a page, you grew to 10K followers some way or another, like you don't know anything about business, or like you can't really
true.
help people. What are you going to coach people, like how to open up an Instagram account? I mean, like you can search that up on YouTube. So it's like kind
Exactly.
of synthetic value, because you don't really teach
Yeah.
them, and then you tell them, look, now you need to grow a page, and then you sell a mentorship. And it's like really boring business model. I never got into that. I remember like those pages, like how they looked, and like the structure they had. Like every page looked
It was
exactly
all
the
the
same.
same. It's like copy
Yeah,
paste because
yeah,
it's like I don't know, you could say pyramid scheme from like from the top. One guy started and it's like a chain reaction and
yeah.
all the other guys started. Yeah,
Which I
so it
think
was.
was it's like very synthetic value. You're not gonna make money like that, or
Yeah.
big money, because now if you take a look at those pages, or those, like the biggest people even in this space,
Hmm.
like at this point they're not really making that amount of money. I still follow like the biggest guys from that era. Like in the last 3 years, maybe they went from making 10K a month to 15K a month. And they're struggling to scale because there's no actual value. Like they're not actually providing value. They're just reselling the same information and
Yep.
telling people to resell the same thing they taught them. So it's like
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
weird. And I'm glad I
Yeah.
never got into it, because it's like stressful, and you need to coach someone, but you don't know what to tell
Mhm.
them. It's like, yeah. uh,
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I
so
actually got out of it because I realized that the fuck am I doing? Like it's so weird because I realized that I actually didn't really even knew much about Instagram, like about the business itself. I realized how much skills I need to actually firstly master myself before I coach others. I
yeah.
realized that I can't really deliver results. And I realized that, like what my mentor taught me is just like the very tip of the iceberg, that there is
Yeah.
so much more to know, that there is so many other ways to monetize. And I was like, you know what, let's just quit, and just actually start focusing on actually learning more and actually um getting into other monetization ways, like exploring what's capable with Instagram. And just and yeah, that's why I decided to like quit the coaching. And
Yeah.
and to this day I'm still not into coaching, and maybe, just maybe, I'll get into it later on once I actually am confident in my skills, that I can actually help others. So
Yeah, and I wouldn't even call it coaching. They were just like
it's
brainwash people.
regurgitating information basically
Yeah.
from what you learned, and it's basically like you're repeating the same shit
Yeah, but
without
you
even
repeat a
maybe
bit less.
understanding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit less, maybe from your own perspective, putting your own twist on it. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was a mess back then. And yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it stopped. I remember talking to some
Yeah.
of these people like through messages, through DMs, and I remember I had like maybe 150,000 followers, and there was this guy, messaging me with like 7,000 followers, and he's like, "Oh, I make 15K a month. Like you should be selling coaching instead, and like, every person that follows, you should message them and sell them on a program, or like do outreach and stuff." And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what are you teaching? And he's like, well, I'm teaching how to start a theme page. And I'm like, cool. How do they make money? And they're like, well, they sell the same thing as I'm selling. So it was a total mess. And I remember I was talking to that guy with 7K followers, and I said, like, what would you rather have? Like your page and sell coaching, but that I wouldn't even call it coaching. And
Yeah,
would you rather have my page and like sell, a digital product to like the masses, or shout outs? And he was like, "Oh, I would rather have my own page. Like, you don't know anything about theme pages. You just got lucky and stuff like that." So they were so brainwashed by, the few people at the top
that's
that
true.
they
Yeah,
didn't even realize that the whole point of a theme page is growing followers at an extremely fast rate without putting in your own effort and your own face on the platform, just using the content
yeah.
which is out there. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I'm glad you touched on it because like no one has touched on it yet on the podcast or on the
That's
interviews.
true. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a pretty big scheme back then, and
yeah,
and yeah, I fell for it at first, but yeah, I'm actually glad that it mostly came from what I saw the Indian guys. I have no like disrespect to them or anything, but they were the ones, some of the few that actually started this whole movement into these
yeah.
fake team pages basically. So yeah,
Yeah, it was a
it's
very big trend in India to start like a theme page, start selling a coaching program. I remember like all the biggest guys at that time, like top 10, probably 9 of them were like in India,
yeah,
They were like ruling the theme page world. Um, and I mean, some of them are still up there, Like the guys who are
yeah.
working with me now at Passionate Income, they're from India and they've been in team page world for like 5 years, even
Mhm.
longer than me. So yeah, I agree with you. So you made your first money like that, and then what about like the Matrix is real
Yeah.
page? What
Yeah,
about that?
so
Yeah,
that one was where I started making like decent money. I actually utilized it. I remember I was still utilizing it when I was running my mentorship program. I was using the traffic that I was getting from it, but then I stopped it. And as of now, like I'm still monetizing through promotions, through basically ads. And I recently, with my partner, we launched a digital product because that's where I realized that yeah, I can definitely utilize my audience way better and actually monetize all the attention I'm getting. So I decided to just go with a digital product because I used to already sell a digital product, but it didn't like successfully like really actually fit my niche. It worked. I made some money with it, but I just decided it's not really ideal, and I want something that's actually a part of my brand where people can actually relate to it, and it really fits exactly my niche. So yeah, we're currently selling an ebook, and we've been only selling it for like 2 months, and we actually the first month. Yeah, so this month we actually 4xed our previous month sales, so it's going pretty well, and I'm definitely seeing it as a product that's gonna work out for us. So yeah, it's kind of leveraging between the digital product and the promotions. So the
yeah.
income is also split like 50-50. I would say it's in the range of four figures, but it's split like 50-50 from the ebook and from the promotions. But it used to be mainly promotions.
By the way, guys, if you want to learn everything we're talking about here with Noah, make sure click the link, the first link in the description, and join Insta Income School. All right, you have everything you need there to get started. You'll go from zero or whatever point you're at to a Instagram automation professional, and you can find all the information down below. By the way, follow me on Instagram. Sometimes I share very good insights there, and there are opportunities you'll find on Instagram you won't find on YouTube here. So stay tuned and listen to the pod.
I was like, I wasn't even promoting anyone. I wasn't selling any like get rich quick schemes or anything. I was just mainly running promotions and making money off of that. But then yeah, I now started with a digital product to actually utilize my all the attention that I'm getting. So yeah, that's where I'm at currently with it.
I like that. That's very nice. So you started with shout outs and then now it's been 2 months with the ebook. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I think you're doing well. I mean, ebooks are getting kind of older now. You kind of want like a new wave. Now
That's
it's
true.
like
That's
Discord
true. Yeah.
communities and school communities and stuff like that. But at the same time, if it's working, just keep selling it. Like a book is one of the oldest ways of transferring information. So if you're
Yeah.
selling an
Exactly.
ebook, like it's not gonna go old, that kind of thing. It's just like an ebook has been overused and people had probably bad experiences. That's why.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
overall, if it works, then I'm really glad to hear that. Because what I see in
Yeah.
the theme page world is a lot of the people who get into it have no idea about business at all. And when it comes time to like create their own product, because some of them do try it, you don't need to, but sometimes you want to try it. Sometimes the newbies, let's say, when they launch a product, including me, when I
Hmm.
started,
Yeah.
they don't really have success. They have all of this traffic. They can't really sell it. They don't know anything about like copywriting or anything like that, how to promote certain products or like how to market them properly. Like what you said is genius. You said you quadrupled your first month, the second
Hmm.
month. And
Yeah.
it worked like that because you put enough promotions out there on your page. People like who are newbies, including me when I started, when you release your own product, they think, well, I'll do one promotion and it will sell like crazy. When in
Yeah.
reality, like a person just to click the link you're promoting, they need to see that ad like 7 times. It's
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
scientifically proven, and it's like the rule of seven. For example, if someone spends 7 hours with you in person, they feel much more, closer to you. It's like the rule of seven. So they need to see the ad 7 times before they even click a link. And people usually go to the website like 5 times or 10 times before they buy the thing.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is constantly keep promoting because for you, it looks like, oh, I'm uploading this promotion like the second time today, and I've been doing it for a week. But for your followers, you don't reach every follower of yours with every single post. You
Yeah.
usually
True.
reach like 1/10 of them. So after a month of promoting every single day, 2 times a day, you'll reach like maybe all of your audience 1 or 2 times, and they
Yeah.
need
Exactly.
to see that ad 7 times. So you need to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. I always tell this in my coaching program. I tell people like I worked with Morning Brew for like 11 months or 12 months, 11 months, I think. And like one of the best months was like month 10 or month 9. So
Yeah.
imagine how much it had to kind of build up and how many people needed to see that ad before they actually like click the link and enter their email. So
Yeah.
sometimes it takes really long and people need to see the same thing over and over again because people are skeptical. But if you keep promoting the same thing, they're like, oh, okay, if they're still promoting it, means it's not a scam which they want to take down quickly, means like it's a good product, it's a good offer. Let's click the link and do whatever, buy the thing or enter their
Yeah.
email or get the free ebook. So yeah, would you agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch on that point also, I would say that's the beauty of Instagram theme pages when it comes to actually running a business. And you don't have to be like a super genius or like an expert or have any experience in running a business. Like
Yeah,
I was literally a totally like a fresh newbie, but throughout all this journey, I've learned, how to market, storytelling, copywriting, content creation, the psychology behind, all of that, and like digital like ebook writing, digital product creation, and like you improve communication skills and you build up this skill set. And yeah, at first time you might not succeed, but as the time goes you build up the skill set, then you can put all of that into one good project that might actually like skyrocket. And that's where I'm at right now, like with all the knowledge I have, I currently can utilize it and include into the promoting the digital product I currently have, right? Like even as you mentioned, people have to see it like at least 7 times before they purchase. So that's why we like double down a lot on promoting it, actually nurturing people so they actually understand what it's about. We change the funnel couple times, so it actually really touches the pain points of people. We included email sequences and all of that, the whole system behind it. It's not an easy thing. Like you have seen people like make it really simple. It can still work if you have like huge traffic. You don't have any backend systems like any email sequence. It's just like a plain, let's say, digital product on Gumroad, right? You can still like redirect
Yeah.
people, but still promoting it, getting into people's faces like, look, I have a product. Would you be interested in buying it? And just constantly, you know, actually showing it. Um, yeah, that's the key to actually getting the sale. And yeah, it's just consistency, not necessarily hard work, but just actually learning, and I would say reflecting on what worked, what didn't work, and just learning and applying that, and just improving every single time. And with time, I mean, it's impossible to not make it work, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. No, you adjust and then you become better and better and better
Yeah,
every single day, and obviously people will buy. And another thing, I talked with my friend Adam. We were talking about like different offers and how a lot of people, they promote one offer and then they hop onto another offer, they promote that,
yeah,
so for example, how to start theme pages, then how to do YouTube automation, then how to become a remote closer. And what happens is people lose trust in them. But if you find a
yeah,
guy who's been doing theme pages or an agency, let's say, for 3 years straight, and his offer was how to start an agency, like people will see that and they'll be like, I'll just buy his program because if he's been promoting it for 3 years, it must work.
yeah,
And that's
exactly.
why I'll buy it, because you're just in their face all the time. And that's usually how it works in online business. So you're totally right on that. And yeah, let me ask you this. So how did you feel when you made your actual like first money, but like, not your first sale, but I mean the first monthly income, which kind of felt like, okay, I'm making something here.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a good feeling. Like you realize that there's much more to, like making money outside of like a 9 to 5 job. Or although, yeah, I have nothing against it if you actually, you're doing what you actually love doing, and if it's your passion, it doesn't drain you. If you're working in a great environment, sure, why not? But I'm more so about like the freedom that comes with the no restrictions, no one is telling you what to do. You're like just actually you're writing your own script, right? You're learning new skills. So yeah, it was definitely a great feeling back. And one of the like the I would say, um the the bigger income that I made was in the, like, I think it was, when I really felt it, was like 2 or 3K a month when I did.
Mm,
And it was like, yeah, man, this is just amazing, because I knew I was even like, my classmates that I graduated with, I knew that they weren't even making that much money at that time. They were probably just, like in universities and college, or barely graduated. And I knew I was already ahead of everyone else, even though I wasn't making like any crazy money. I
yeah.
already knew that I am making money, with this online business on my own. I learned all of this. And yeah, it's just a great feeling, honestly. Like, it's euphoric.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it opens up your world, right? You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
exactly.
realize that everything you've been told your whole life is like a lie. I mean, not everything. If you've been listening to
Yeah,
like, red pill entrepreneurship
yeah,
content, then you've kind of heard it, but it's an insane feeling, right? And you can't really explain it because you only feel it when you experience it.
true,
Obviously, it
true.
feels great. But I told this on the last interview I did, but I'll say it again. I think people who get into like theme pages and online business space, they're less in love with making money, and they're more in hate relationship with control and like with, let's say, the matrix. They're more passionate about not being controlled, but about freedom rather
Yeah,
than making the money, the figure.
simply
which is
not
kind of great.
going with the script that's being perpetuated constantly onto you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do this in life, do. Like, it's all organized for you. Yeah, like I'm totally against what the system actually has. Like, this the system's written script, which
Yeah.
many people follow, right? So I guess most people are into this space are actually not following the script and they're writing their own script.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, yeah, I think like theme pages are good for people like that because if you want to, they're totally anonymous. So you can put anything out there, you can share your message, but you're totally anonymous. So I see a lot of people who are in theme pages at the same time they're like in crypto, because obviously crypto is anonymous and it's like a pretty cool business model.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you said your ebook is doing pretty well right now. You kind of diversified your income 50-50 between shout outs
Yeah.
and ebook. How much money do you make right now?
Yeah, so as I said, it's in the four figures around there. So some months are lower, of course. It's not like with theme pages, I'm sure like it's not a steady thing. Because even when I used to I when I wasn't promoting, like when I didn't have a digital product and I wasn't making only money with promotion, so that was when it was like really fluctuating. It used to be like 2K, 1K, 3K, sometimes like really low one. For some reason the clients just don't really come. So
Mm.
now it's in the higher rates with the ebook, and I'm sure we're gonna scale to much more. I mean, we have pretty big goals with the
What's
ebook.
the goal?
Yeah, so at least we want to be making at least 10 sales a day. So that would be around $100 a day. So that's like $3,000 a month. But that's for like the nearest goal for now, right? And we're moving closer and closer to it. But eventually, I mean, even we want to scale it through affiliates and much
Mm.
more goals planned with it. So yeah, I mean, if we can go to like 10K a month with that simple ebook, we'll see. Maybe we something bigger comes out of it. Maybe we change, as you said, like ebooks kind of like are dying off a bit. People are have like a flawed perception on them. So maybe we, maybe I don't know, we create a like a really exclusive documentary or
Mm.
like a video instead of like an ebook, a video. Also like format or something related to it. Maybe I was thinking of launching also some kind of merch related to my brand. Something there's a lot of space for the monetization. Still, I can expand. I can test out with my audience and see. But yeah, that's just for the near future, I would say. But
Nice.
yeah,
And the website you built, I know I connected you to my secret payment processor, which
yeah.
let's not say their name out there. But what are you using now? Are you selling on like Gumroad, or do you have like a sales page and you connect it
Yeah,
to
we have
Stripe?
a custom. No, we have a custom funnel. We're not using Gumroad, yeah, so it's like a totally. We're using Systems IO software basically,
Okay.
so it's also integrated. You can create like a funnel easily. We're planning to move to a different software eventually, also to actually improve everything and to
Mm.
make the whole process more, let's say, like just improve it. But as of now we're actually sticking to it. But yeah, it's working out well. I mean, we're constantly like always monitoring every single like flaw in it and trying to fix it and everything. So it's fun. It's actually like that's the whole point, like the whole process, not the money making part. Like the money, of course it's fun, but the whole process of learning, improving, and like improving your skills, getting more knowledge about like copywriting, or like I don't know, I didn't really even knew anything about email sequences. Then I got to learn. So you get to learn these things in this online space, in this online business, and I think that's just like a really great thing, which you really wouldn't actually, learn if you were into a regular 9 to 5 job for like 40 years, just doing the same old thing over and over again, right? Here you can improve, you can switch from niches to niches, you can switch products, you can always learn new skills. So that just adds up, right? And you become like, you could see a valuable person with a valuable skill set.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree. You learn a lot, and there's potential for scale. You're probably not making like any crazy money yet, but
Yeah,
I can tell you, like, I met people in this space who are doing like 1 million a month, and they all started the same way. They started by growing. Back in the day, they instead of theme pages, they used to grow blogs. So they started
yeah,
with growing a blog and then an email list, and then they started, promoting something as an affiliate, and then they launched their own product, and 10, 15 years down the line, they're doing like 1 mil a month in profit, not revenue. And
yeah.
that's like kind of crazy. So you really have the potential and you have the opportunity. If you really want to scale, you can, really scale. So I'm glad to hear it. By the way, what are you using for like payments processing now? Are you using that payment processor I recommended you, or you're doing like Stripe plus PayPal?
Uh, Yeah, we use Stripe at first, and then my partner. I didn't really ask him what he used. I think he used also um, the payment page, which you can create through also Systems.io.
Mm.
So it also allows like multiple payment methods. And because with Stripe, I think we used to have like problems where not everyone could check out for some reason. So we actually switched, and I think it works fine. But the one you recommended, yeah, I'm gonna actually talk to him and see if we could potentially like integrate it in some way, or we can improve it with that. But yeah, I mean, we're always seeking for ways to improve. So
Yeah, they
anything.
have really good checkout pages, and
Yeah,
I haven't had problems with them, so that's pretty cool. I had payments come in of like $17,000 or 18,000, hadn't had problems. So hopefully you
yeah,
can
yeah,
figure
yeah.
something out, and they can give you like a good rate. And yeah, if anyone's listening and they want to get a good payment processor for like internet business, just hit me up. I can hook you up, guys. So we talked about theme pages. I'm really appreciating the conversation, by the way. It's
Oh
really
yeah, same.
insightful. So I appreciate it. I'm curious, like, now you're running the ebook, you're doing the email sequence, you're running the pages. How much time do you work per day? And like, how does your day look like, on like a daily basis in terms of business? And what do you do on a free time too?
Yeah. So when I used to actually do the mentoring stuff, I mean, it used to be pretty hectic, honestly. Like,
Mm.
almost all my time would go into it. And that's when I felt like I was grinding, like. But yeah, I was way like inputting a lot of energy and time into it. Um, because I used to have like a whole routine: wake up, check DMs, update the CRM, reach out to potential clients, have conversations, set up calls, hop on calls, mentor students, all over again. So yeah, it was hectic. But then when I quit, yeah, it's way intense, and I wouldn't even say I work that much. The main work I put in goes into like on some pages like content creation, and then mainly like managing the pages, and also the main focus is currently like improving and scaling with a digital product that I have, right? So if I would say I spend maybe maximum like
By the way, guys, if you want to learn everything we're talking about here with Noah, make sure click the link, the first link in the description, and join Insta Income School. All right, you have everything you need there to get started. You'll go from zero or whatever point you're at to a Instagram automation professional, and you can find all the information down below. By the way, follow me on Instagram. Sometimes I share very good insights there, and there are opportunities you'll find on Instagram you won't find on YouTube here. So stay tuned and listen to the pod.
on the pages. I could even check how much time I like spent, if I can quickly check how much time I spent
Yeah,
on
yeah,
my
totally.
page and see.
Yeah, and with
Um,
the coaching, what you said is very true. For me, it used to take a long, long time when I was like heavily into coaching, like with all the marketing and CRM and everything. Like it takes 12 hours a day, if you really want to scale it.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
incredibly hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so on my main page it says 58 minutes on average.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I usually spend. But it fluctuates. So yeah, that's mainly what I do. I mean, on my free time, yeah, I spend a lot of time with family, and also just doing a lot of research. I'm the type of guy who's actually like really into what I talk about on my MTRX's real page, like the conspiracy some may call it. I'm just overall about getting to know the nature of reality and the system we live in. So I do a lot of research, read books, of course, books not just about the those things, but overall like self improvement, um, and all the other stuff. And just yeah, getting to know everything, and yeah, I'm definitely planning to do some traveling in the near future, which like traveling, I guess, can improve your life in many ways. I mean, just getting to know the world around you, that the world you live in, the whatever you call it. So that's on my to-do list, which I really need to do, like just travel more.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like if people think that writing theme pages is like super hectic, it's not depends if you don't get into
Do you
the
create your own content?
coaching. um on my main page, if you look, I have like three types of contents. So only one type of content is the one that I create, which takes like, I don't know, a couple of minutes maybe to do, but it's
Mm.
very specific. That's why I do it on my own, and it's a specific niche. But the other one is outsourced. I have content creators and that I pay monthly, and for the other pages too. So yeah,
How
it's
much
just
does it
one.
cost for you to run the team?
I think it's around like over 200 or over $200, I think, or it's like close to $300 a month to
Mm.
to to actually pay all the content creators. So yeah, they
Which is
charge pretty
incredibly
cheap.
cheap.
I Yeah, exactly. I mean, if anyone wants to know, it's usually the Indian guys who charge really cheap, and
Yeah.
it's up to your negotiation skills as well to actually get a good price. um but yeah, that's how much it costs. And overall, yeah, as I said, it's not a hectic, it's not at all like a tiring business or anything. It doesn't drain your energy as long as you're like, if you're actually doing the coaching, then yeah. But even with that, if you actually put in the right systems in place, if you, let's say, build a good A team, right, like a good team of people that can help you, you can outsource the stuff, you can automate, then I can still think you can actually avoid a lot of work that you would put in. Still, you shouldn't think that many people, I think, go in with the mindset that they're just gonna be posting content, kicking up their legs, lying, and the money is gonna be falling from the sky. I mean, still, it takes a bit of work, right? You
Yeah.
have to, for example, um, if you do create a content yourself, you have to do content research, create it. That still takes a bit of time, manage the page, reply to DMs, but it's not as complicated as many people would say. So yeah, it's definitely depends on the monetization method and everything else. But yeah, I would say I have a lot of free time, right? Like you could have asked me to do this podcast almost at any time. I would have agreed because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a free man.
Yeah, you just told me like tell me the time and I'll be there at that time,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, thanks for sharing that. So, what would you say for the viewers that are listening now and, they're kind of new to the game? What would you say would be the best advice you could give them? And in your mind, what's the biggest opportunity now? Like, now today is February 2nd, 2024. What's like the biggest opportunity you would kind of get into as fast as possible if you would be new to the game?
So, in terms of advice, I would say go in with the mindset of actually not just so focused on the money, but also about just actually learning. And with the mindset that it can actually take time. Don't think it's like a get rich quick thing, you know. Like I would say, because that's where many people fall short, and they think, oh, I'm just gonna start and like be making 50K a month in like 1 month, and then they
Yeah.
say, oh no, that's not the case, and I quit. And yeah, just remember that consistency is the key. Just try to improve at least 1% by at least 1% every single day. Just keep improving, stay consistent. Don't jump around from one niche to one niche. I mean, you can still, like, let's say if you really see it's not working out, okay, but then also don't jump around, at least from business model to business model, right? That's the main key. That's also what I told myself, that if I go in on this, like, it's gonna be long term.
Mm.
I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to make it. I think that's the mindset many people should
Yeah, and
have, you know.
before you change the niche, just take a look if there are any big successful pages
Yeah,
in that niche. And if the answer is
exactly.
yes, just keep going, you know?
Yeah, it means you just have to keep going, improve something, like actually analyze what others are doing that you're not doing, what you need to improve. And with the time, with consistency, with constant improvement, and with the growth, then you'll see that opportunities will just start flowing to you, if you actually just stick to it long enough and don't let it go. Because that's, yeah, people are impatient and they are chasing the quick buck, and that's where they actually fall short and say, "Ah, no online business works." Like, have you actually tried it for at least like 5 months consistently, every single day, showing up and just doing it? And mostly the answer is no. So that's the case why it doesn't work. Because
Yeah,
I guarantee you can make anything work if you just work yourself, right? So
totally.
that's the case. And in
Yeah.
terms of the opportunity in this space, I haven't really analyzed the current markets as much, the oceans of the theme page game. But what I notice is that there are many old entrepreneurs who've been around for like a long time. They're getting into social media, right? Because they've been around, they've been running their physical businesses from, let's say, I don't know, the 80s or 70s, and maybe they just haven't lived up to the knowledge of social media and what it is, and like how does it work. So I've noticed that even, like really big guys in some industries are getting on social media. Why? Because attention, still attention, if you can just grasp a lot of attention, like it generates money, right? I always
Yeah.
say, where attention flows, money goes.
Yeah.
And that's, if I were to utilize that, I could potentially, start a theme page, maybe educating more so on targeting that type of category of people, and potentially reaching out to some bigger companies who don't really have anything set up on social media, and just introducing them to social media and the benefits, and the power they can gain from actually expanding their brand and utilizing the attention they can gain from social media. Because, yeah, they can even increase their revenue, increase their, you know um how should I say, just overall, the basically, yeah, they will become way more known, and their revenue will increase, right? Because that's what you want as a company. You want more sales and more revenue. So like with social media, it's like literally free money out there laying, if you just, go out there and pick it up. So
I
I
totally
would
agree.
say you could actually utilize that. I mean, there are many other opportunities you can actually go out and seek. Yeah, there are opportunities lying just around the corner. You just have to go out and look. So with the team page game, yeah, I mean, the AI was a really big hit. I know one of your students actually hopped on that opportunity, and like, and made
I
some
made
great
an
moves.
interview with him. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like, you always have to be with wide open eyes, and just see what's coming next, and actually utilize, and maybe start a page in that niche and grow it. And yeah, it's just a matter of recognizing the opportunities, and then like taking action on time. So Yeah, everything is possible in this game, in this space.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And one more thing,